Howdy folks, I'm zigzagging Zebulon Skipper, zanely zipping by zesty zucchinis.
I'm Amber.
And here are more zesty zucchinis for us to zip by, and if they're zesty, then you probably don't have zucchinis. So let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Breaking Off My Engagement Because My Fiance Cheated on Me with His Stepsister? Using a throwaway because my fiance knows my main, and I'm not dealing with him for finding this. I'm a 28-year-old female, and he's a 32-year-old male, together 7 years and engaged for 3. He's always been close with his stepsister, Lena, fake names. But whenever I was around, they would just, ignore each other, act weird. I figured that it was just sibling awkwardness and literally never thought anything about it. Well, fast forward to last Monday, him, we'll call him Eric, and Lena go to dinner with friends for our graduation. After we end up at a friend's house, everyone's drinking except me because alcohol makes me violently sick. Eric is a lightweight, so is Lena. Shocker, they both get trashed. Well, at some point, they say that they're going to the bathroom upstairs. This is the last time I see them. I don't even notice for a while because I'm talking to people, but after like an hour, maybe 2, someone goes, "Where's Eric and Lena?" Oh, right. Bathroom trip. So I go and check. Empty. I try calling Eric, but the phone is off. I call Lena, but also off. And I text Eric and I wrote, "You still here, babe? Haven't seen you or Lena." Well, 6 minutes later, I hear screaming from the other side of this massive house. I run over and it's my friend, the host, yelling at Eric and Lena. And boom, Eric and Lena are in her room. Lena's got her arm around him. At first, my brain's like, maybe he's sick. Maybe she's helping him? No, my friend straight up says, I just caught them making out. They don't deny it. They just sit there like idiots. I left without them. Yes, I drove. And yes, they barely had enough money for a cab that night. I went to my parents for the night. Well, the next day, Eric calls me, all calm, like nothing had happened, saying that my friends made it up because she was jealous. Yes, she had a tiny crush on him in college for maybe 5 seconds, but that was years ago. I go back to our apartment and he's there with his mom, who hates me, and Lena, sitting there like the Three Stooges. I ask what happened, and Eric gives me the "we were drunk" excuse. Lena mumbles something incoherent, and I call BS and I leave. Then his family starts blowing up my phone, calling me every name in the book, and cherry on top saying that they're going to send me back to my country. I was born here, by the way. Now he's calling from random numbers, apologizing, and still blaming the alcohol. I've never been drunk, just sips here and there. So does being drunk really make you cheat on your fiance with your stepsister? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. And there are lots of people who drink around step siblings without going to bed with them. He obviously has a thing for her stepsister, and you do not need to be with someone. But more than that, like, I feel like that's the smallest issue in the whole thing. I feel like all his behavior afterward is what really does it for me. Like, he has this big setup with his mom and his stepsister to try and ambush you. And then when that doesn't go according to plan, they start threatening to get you deported, essentially, even though you're a U.S. citizen. And then he starts calling you from random numbers to harass you. This is not the behavior of someone who is someone you want to be in a relationship with. This is very manipulative behavior.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of red flags here. I mean, certainly, like, him making out with Lena is certainly, like, one issue on its own, but the fact that the way he's handled it afterwards, tried to stage this intervention, said all these terrible things, have been harassing OP. At this point in time, I think that OP should, take this as a blessing that he's revealed his true colors and move on at this point in time, right? Like, this is just really not a good situation. And he also tried to lie about it at first. It's like, oh, well, they lied. They said that, we were making out, but we weren't. But then, like, they don't deny it. But then they go back to saying, like, oh, it was a mistake. He can't even keep his story straight, right? I mean, how do we know that something between them hasn't happened before?
Well, my guess is this isn't the first time.
Because if they're acting all uncomfortable with each other and stuff like that, I mean, sometimes people kind of get awkward around each other when they've been intimate or something like that, and then maybe that's kind of raised feelings for them and stuff like that, and so they've just been trying to, like, hide it, and maybe this was the moment that they, like, needed. And 2 hours, an hour. I mean, I guess, sometimes it's hard to tell how much time has passed, but they were making out for an hour. I mean, that right there kind of is a little weird and concerning, and makes me think that maybe it wasn't restricted to just making out, right? I don't know. I wasn't there, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Fiance's Sister that she can't be in our wedding after I found out she dated my ex, who's also invited? I'm a 27-year-old female, and I'm marrying my fiance, Evan, a 29-year-old male, this fall. We've been together for 4 years, and I'm genuinely excited for the wedding. Until this bomb dropped. Evan has one sister, Hannah, a 25-year-old female, who I've always gotten along with. She's supposed to be one of my bridesmaids. Well, last week, a friend from college called me, totally out of the blue, and asked if I knew Hannah used to date my ex, Brian, a 28-year-old male, the same ex that I was with for almost 3 years. I had no idea. Hannah never mentioned it. Well, here's the kicker. Ryan is still friends with our mutual friend group and was already invited to the wedding, purely as a friend, no weirdness. When I asked Hannah about it, she admitted that she dated him while I was still with him. But it wasn't serious, and Evan already knew. Well, I was stunned, and she brushed it off saying, that was years ago, it has nothing to do with your wedding. But I felt like this was a massive betrayal. She smiled in my face all these years, knowing that she slept with my boyfriend behind my back. I told her that I'm uncomfortable with her being in my wedding party now. She flipped out and accused me of trying to humiliate her, and told Evan that I'm being petty over ancient history. Evan said that he gets why I'm hurt, but thinks that removing her will just cause unnecessary drama. Half of the family thinks that I'm right, and half of the family thinks that I'm being ridiculous. Am I the jerk for kicking my future sister-in-law out of my wedding over something that happened years ago? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, not the jerk. Hopefully you're kicking out the cheating ex too.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I'm concerned about this wedding proceeding. If Evan knew all this time that your boyfriend was cheating on you with his sister and never said anything to you.
Yeah, that's a tricky situation. Puts him in a bad spot, of course, and even puts him in a bad light now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, what do you, like, if you know something and you know it's going to hurt somebody, like, it depends on his motives and everything like that, too. Like, it seems if he was doing this to protect Hannah, then that is really poor form, you know?
I mean, regardless of his motives, it's not good. Like, if you know your part, like, if he knows there's cheating going on, you should come forward and tell the wronged party. And just like to keep that though, all these years now that he's planning to marry OP, like this is the woman he's planning to spend the rest of his life with, and he's keeping this giant secret from her.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, it doesn't put him in a good light, like I said. I would have to know more about his motives here, but I mean, it certainly doesn't seem like it was probably altruistic for him to keep this secret. It seems more like maybe he was doing it to protect Hannah, because he wanted to make sure that Hannah and his fiance had a good relationship, right? And if that was his motives, then I mean, this is certainly not a good situation in that respect. And I think that OP probably has a lot of thinking to do about this situation, because it really, a lot of people are kind of in a bad light at this point in time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Spiritual Address says, you're the jerk. Evan knew, so he and Hannah both were hiding the secret from you, but you only want to blame Hannah. I guess your wound is still fresh, because you just found out about this, but the person that you should be mad at is Ryan, because he was the one who cheated on you, and he's invited as a friend. So if you're okay with your cheating ex coming to your wedding, then you shouldn't be mad at Hannah. Yes, she hid it from you, but then again, so did your fiance. So are you going to be mad at your fiance from hiding it from you? What's your real issue with Hannah? How come you're only mad at her, but not Ryan or Evan? I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that this person brings up some good points, but I also think they bring up some bad points.
Well, I think they're just extrapolating too far. Like, we don't know. OP doesn't say anything about Ryan one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, OP may have already uninvited him and not felt like it was worth mentioning in the post because it's a minor detail. I do think Evan is a big issue, and that OP really needs to think long and hard about that element of it. But, I mean, I think Hannah definitely does need to be uninvited. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And it's fine to be upset with Hannah because she knew that OP was seeing Ryan and cheated anyway.
Yeah. And Merely Whelmed 1 says, so you're fine with staying on good terms with your ex, even though he did the same thing as your fiance's sister. How does that work? You're the jerk. And I'm Chatterbox says, are you also disinviting your ex? So it just seems like a lot of people are wondering about the ex. I mean, I don't know that OP doesn't reply to any of these, so I have no idea. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to babysit my ex's kid even though my mom says that I should? I'm a 25-year-old female and I dated my ex for 3 years. He cheated, we broke up, and now he's engaged to the woman that he cheated with. They have a 1-year-old baby. Somehow, my mom still talks to him and his fiance. This week, she called me asking if I could watch their baby because they had an emergency. I said absolutely not, that he's not my problem anymore. She blew up on me, saying that I was being cold and heartless and that it takes a village. Now my mom is saying that I made her look bad for refusing to help a couple in need, even though that young couple destroyed me years ago. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. If your mom for some reason wants to watch their kid, that's her prerogative.
Yeah.
But it is not your responsibility to help the people who messed up your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mom needs to take a step back here and understand that OP is completely in the right to not want to have anything to do with their ex.
Like, there are lots of young couples in this world who need babysitting, but that doesn't mean you have to drop everything and help them. It doesn't mean you're selfish for having a life of your own.
Yeah.
But it's doubly awful that this is someone who, these people messed up, completely derailed the future OP thought she had.
Yeah, it's just not a good situation. I just feel bad for OP here. They shouldn't be being pressured into this. Their mom just needs to lay off and not mention these two people ever again. And they really shouldn't even be involved with them. I don't know why she's still even friends with OP's ex.
I don't know either. It's baffling to me.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Salty Things 3144 says, not the jerk and your mom is being ridiculous. She probably wants you back with the ex and is trying to plant you in front of him. Tell her that it's not going to happen and to help out that young couple herself if they need a babysitter. And that you will hang up on her if she calls you to talk about the ex again. And then do it. Sometimes mothers like this need to be trained to stay in their lane. And Carmen DJ says, why doesn't Mommy Dearest babysit? And Your Average Plebeian says, she only wants to play Lady Benevolent, not actually be Lady Benevolent. I'm not 100% in agreement with the commenter about how the mom wants OP to get back with their cheating ex. I'm more of the opinion that the mom has some subconscious pick-me tendencies and has a habit of throwing women under the bus so that she can look good in front of men. I don't know if OP has commented elsewhere, but I could almost guarantee that the mom blamed her for the ex cheating and then for her decision to break up. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Giving My Ex Equity in-house? We were together 7 years and lived together for 5. The house was exclusively in my name. I alone paid for the down payment, the property taxes, the insurance, for all the appliances, the repairs, and the improvements. He paid an average of $1,800 a month in what I considered to be below market rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for him and his 3 kids. There was only one of me, but I still paid far more than that per month to keep the house afloat. I did all the grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, yard work. We lived on acreage. And that was no small feat. I drove the kids to and from school. I planned and paid for all the vacations and outings. I planned and paid for all the kids' birthdays and Christmases. I purchased the cars that we used as well and the vehicles that we bought to service the property. My ex says that he deserves equity in the home that we shared, the one that he abandoned and allowed me, recovering from ovarian cancer surgery, to clean out by myself. He is basing this on him having paid a significant chunk of cash to pay off the car that was exclusively in my name. I told him that he had 7 years to marry me and that half of that would be his and that I would have no say, but since he didn't, he paid below market rent and got a deal for the last 5 years and is owed nothing from me. Am I the jerk for refusing to give him a dime? He wants, at the very least, the car that he is driving that is in my name and I alone have paid on for the last year. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. I mean, this man ditched you when you had ovarian cancer surgery and after you did all this stuff for him, like, you've been taking care of him and his kids for all this time. Like, not only did you pour a lot of money, but you poured a lot of labor and love into this household. And for him to be so callous and just be like, okay, but you're gonna hand me some money, right? Like, no, this dude is not owed anything. Don't give him anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that he isn't owed anything in this particular case. It sounds like OP did a bulk of everything, including the finances. And, certainly, like, if OP wants to, they can tally everything up and show a bill for him about basically how much he would owe her if they were to split finances 50-50 or something like that. And then that way, maybe that'll get him off her back and say, well, if you really want me to give you the house, then you should owe, or if you really want equity, or if you really want like this car or any number of things, then this is how much you should pay me so that we can be fair and equitable about it, right? I think showing him that alone will make him never contact you again, and you'll have your peace. And I just hope that OP is recovering from their cancer and that they're able to beat this, and that, because a lot of times, like if it was just a surgery or something like that, then they can get rid of it immediately and not have to do any of the chemo and stuff like that. So hopefully it's one of those situations where they caught it early and stuff like that. So I hope that OP recovers quickly.
Yeah. And good riddance to someone who is going to ditch you. Like, I guess we see now why he didn't marry you.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that's shooting him in the foot.
Yeah.
If you can't do the in sickness and in health thing, then you're not worthy of that equity.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And so much more Eagle says, not the jerk, and legally and ethically, he's out of luck. You were not married and there was no agreement to give him any equity. As far as you've mentioned, he was paying rent to you, nothing more. And he wants, the very least, the car that he's driving in my name, and I alone have paid for the last year. That's entirely up to you, but you should resolve that quickly, either by getting the car back or signing it over to him, whatever you want to do. But letting him drive a car in your name puts too much liability on you. That's actually a good point. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why didn't the moon eat its dinner?
Why didn't the moon eat its dinner? Because it was full.
Yes. And it's Chant at the Moon Day.
So we go find some friends and chant at the moon, I guess.
Also National Relaxation Day.
Ah, so relax too while you're at it. And I have Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on entitled X's.
If you wanted equity, you should have put a ring on it.
Agreed. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.